Welcome to the Division I National Semifinal Game 1 postgame press conference featuring the Virginia Tech Hokies. We'll hear an opening statement from Coach Brooks and follow with questions from the student athletes. The student athletes will then be dismissed, and we will open for questions for Coach Brooks. Coach?
I'm extremely proud of this group, not only because of what they accomplish on the court, but how they conduct themselves on the court, how they conduct themselves in our community. And this is the best year of basketball that I've ever had in my life. And it's not because of the 31 wins. It's not because of getting to the Final Four. It's because I get to coach these young ladies. And I'm so happy and proud. I love the way they respect the game. I love the way they respect their opponent. I love the way they respect their university. I love the way they respect anybody that they don't know when they come across them. And I'll take that every time. No sacrifices. No sacrifices to get to anywhere. And that's who we are. That's what Virginia Tech is. That's what Virginia Tech will be. And these kids right here represent so well. So I'm the proudest coach in the country, regardless if I didn't get the actual prize. The fact that they love me as much as they do, that's all that matters. That's all that matters. I've been doing this too long. And this is the absolute best that I've ever felt with a group. And I'm proud of them. Proud of them whether they won, whether they lost. They respect everything. And that's why they're going to be future leaders of tomorrow, whatever they do. All right, I promise you that. It's because they understand it, they respect it, and they will be very, very successful. So thank you.
We will now open up for questions for the student athletes. We're actually going to begin with a virtual question from Christopher Heidel. Chris, I'm going to unmute your line and allow you to talk.
Hi, ladies. This is Chris Heidel from Herman Radio in Baltimore. Sorry for the tough loss tonight. What happened in the fourth quarter? You guys were coming out firing in the third quarter. And in the fourth quarter, what did they do differently to change up? This is for the student athletes.
They just started playing more aggressive. Obviously, we knew that they were going to come out with that aggression, with us being up, and I just don't think we were good enough to stop, Morris coming down and playing with that confidence. And, they just really took over with the intensity.
I think we did a really good job for the most part in the first three quarters of limiting them to one shot too, and I think we gave up a lot of offensive rebounds when they were coming back in the fourth, and that definitely hurt us.
Our next question. To your left.
Mitchell Northam. This is a question for Liz. I know you and Georgia are close. She broke the NCAA tournament record for three-pointers made tonight. Just kind of wondering from your perspective what it's been like kind of watching her thrive through this tournament on this run you all have been on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's been amazing, and I'm so happy for her, and part of that is because I just know how humble she is. She'll never give herself enough credit. But why this question? What? But we all love her so much, and we are just really happy to see her successful because we know that she's had it in her the whole time, and it's nice that people are seeing it now.
Mark Berman, the Roanoke Times. Even though the season did not end the way you had hoped, how will you remember, each of you, how will you remember this season?
This is my favorite team that I've been on by far. Yeah, the goal was a national championship, but, a Final Four is pretty incredible, and I'm going to remember it as that. But also just mainly this group of girls has been so fun to play with, and it's the kind of relationship that I feel like is going to carry on for however many years, and we'll always be able to look back on this season and remember how much fun we had together. And I'm sure we're going to have a reunion in 50 years and be able to talk about it, so I'm looking forward to that.
To your left, ladies.
What do you think the legacy of this team may be?
You go.
I didn't just underdogs the whole year. We got the 1 seed. We won the championship, and people still didn't believe in us. people were saying we're the first team to not leave our region, all of that, and we had inside adversity. I think we just grew maturity-wise and set a standard for Virginia Tech basketball and like who we are as people and athletes.
Georgia, Howard Megdal at the Next. Liz didn't come out of the game for a second today. What do you think that says about what she has meant to this team?
It doesn't surprise me. That woman cops a beating every single night, elbows thrown, all of that. But, she means the world to this program. She just is the face of Virginia Tech, has come in here from day one and just like worked her butt off really and just trusted in Coach Brooks. And, Virginia Tech loves her and she loves Virginia Tech, so.
To your right, ladies.
Elizabeth Jean Wong with the Washington Post. Can you talk a little bit about facing Angel and how difficult a matchup that was and what challenges she presents?
I mean, she's super athletic, really good at getting rebounds. I think the first half she had like 2 rebounds, and I knew coming out, her not being in danger and foul trouble as much, she was going to be really aggressive on that end. And she was, and she gave them a lot of second chance opportunities in the second half. And that definitely helped them come back.
And to your left, ladies.
Gaby reading her hoop stats. Sorry for the loss, guys. Throughout the season, Coach Brooks has trusted you guys when the other team makes a run to figure it out and not call a timeout. Tonight, obviously what happened, but throughout the season, what has it meant to you that he's put that trust in you in those situations?
I think it's just such a good relationship between us and him, the trust and the respect. And, I would do anything for him. A lot of these girls would, and vice versa. So it helps us maturity-wise. I'm really saying, and I think we are one of the most smartest and maturest teams out there. And it's just an effort from him, from giving us that trust. And, when we're not on a leash, like he's given us the chance to prove to him that he can trust us.
Staying to our left.
Laura Moses of Valley Sports. Liz, I'm curious what you think that you bring to the next level. What can teams get excited about when they see all that you have been able to accomplish at this level?
I think at the end of the day, I just love basketball and I love being part of a team, regardless of what my role is. I just feel like I'm willing to give my all to what I'm involved in. And I think I'm just a good teammate also and able to listen and learn and get better with criticism.
And to your left, ladies.
Alexa Philippi with ESPN. Georgia, when you think about what this team the returners or even people coming in for next season can take from this experience to get to the Final Four, both in this game but also just the run in general, what do you hope that group can take moving forward?
Yeah, we've grown a lot this year, especially myself, just knowing what it takes to get here and being here. As soon as it ended, I just was, I want to be here again. So hopefully, whoever comes back, whatever happens, I know that I can place myself in a leadership position to know what it takes to get here and be here, and just continue to bring those who come in, who come back, whatever, along with for this.
We're going to take another question from our left.
Tyler Luca, the next. Kayana, that 16-0 run from the end of the second going into the third, I believe you had 9 of those points. What changed from that first quarter going into that run, and why do you feel like you were so successful within that time frame?
I think my teammates put me in really good positions to be successful, and I was just waiting for my opportunity. We were struggling a little bit shooting-wise, so we had to do different things, play good defense, get stops, get to the rim. So I just did what my team needed at the time.
We're going to take another virtual question. Joshua Louder, you're now permitted to speak.
Joshua Louder Television Network. My question is for the student athletes. What are some principles that Coach Brooks has taught you over your time here, and how will you continue to reflect on those lessons as you grow as people?
I'm going to let y'all answer this because I'm a junior. I get to enjoy it for a few more years.
That's a loaded. Everything I know, is that an answer? He's just taught me to focus on what's important to me. Something he says often that I think he got from a former player is just to focus on your focus. And I think that, we did that really well this season because there's always going to be adversity, whether that be, inside of what you're doing or outside. But at the end of the day, you got to do what's important to you if you want to get the most out of whatever you're involved in. So I think that'll definitely stick with me for a long time because me and this group of girls were able to do that really well. And we got success from it.
Now we'll take a question from our right.
Alexis Pierce with Season 1 Media. This question for you guys. Coach talks and says how you guys are his daughters, and he said that you'll be servant leaders for the future. What does he mean to you guys?
Can we start with Kayana?
Yeah, everything, honestly. I think it's a two-way street as far as, we just have the ultimate respect for him, trust in him, and same vice versa. I think as long as you meet him halfway, he's going to do whatever he can to put you in the best position possible, and I think that's why we're here today.
And Elizabeth?
Yeah, I agree with her. He's just willing to do so much for his players, and all they have to do in return is respect him and do what he says. And if you do that, then he'll do great things for you and take you great places. Just everything that he's invested in us is why we're in the spots we are and why we're making these great memories and having the best experiences ever.
Yeah, I just have the utmost respect for him. And because of that, I know he has my back all the time, He's just been a solid figure.
At this time, we'll take another virtual question. Avery Wiggins, your line is open and you are available to talk.
Can you hear me?
Yes, please go ahead.
This question is for Georgia. So you've been the big breakout star of this tournament, and just tell me, give me your reflection, just give me your mindset on just throughout the entire tournament, and just how have you been able to do what you've done?
Going into it, I wasn't thinking necessarily, this is huge for me. I just wanted to win so bad. From the minute we got chosen on the selection show, I knew that it was going to take the absolute most from me for us to get where we got. So it was just having that team mindset and just being put in really good positions by my team. There was times where I was putting up shots and they weren't falling, and I wanted to stop, but they all told me keep shooting. He told me keep shooting. So just playing my heart out for the team.
We'll take a question to our left.
David Cunningham, Tech Sideline. Kayana, you guys did a lot of the little things right in the second and third quarter, but it seemed like down the stretch there were some turnovers and the game just kind of got away from you. From your perspective, with the little things, what kind of went wrong there? What kind of got away from you?
Yeah, like you said, I think we had a few crucial turnovers as well as missed box outs where they scored on second chance opportunities, and I think that's just what it came down to, really.
And we'll take our final question from our left for the student athletes.
Kayana, even though it's only been 2 years for you, how will you remember your Virginia Tech career? And I guess, Liz, if this is the end, if that is the case, how will you remember your 4 years at Tech?
For me, whenever I transferred, honestly, coming here, I got exactly what I wanted out of it. An ACC championship, a Final Four, and then most importantly, just being around people who welcomed me and loved me from the day that I got here. So it's definitely, these past 2 years have been the best of my life, for sure.
Definitely what she said. We've had the most incredible accomplishments as a program, but at the end of the day, these people that I'm around, I'm so lucky to be with. Couldn't have picked a better place. Virginia Tech really does feel like home to me, and it will always be that way going forward. And I know that Coach Brooks and I will always have that connection for the rest of time. So it just means a lot, but also the relationship with the girls. We're just a huge family, honestly, and I'm very grateful for that.
Thank you very much, ladies. At this time, we'll open it up for questions for Coach. Coach, we're going to start with our front to the left.
Kenny, Andy Bitter from Tech Sideline. I don't think you've done a whole lot of zone this year. What went into that decision? What worked so well with that zone early on that you think they solved a little bit there at the end?
Yeah, I thought it threw them out of rhythm a little bit. It caused them to be stagnant on their end, but we also did it for our purpose too. Taylor Soule had 2 fouls. We were playing kids in the second quarter. Extensive minutes, so it was just a really good solution to some of our issues, some of our problems, and as a result, come on, Mel. As a result, we were able to, go on a run, and so I mean, we contemplated. We knew we had it in our back pocket that we wanted to try it at some point before the game started.
We're going to stay to our left.
Kenny, Tim Thomas from the Tech Lunch Pail. There will be obviously a Final Four banner that'll get put up next fall. How do you want fans to remember the legacy of this team?
I want them to look at that Final Four and appreciate all the hard work, the dedication, the sacrifices that this group put in. And I want them to understand that this is a phenomenal group of young ladies. And what they have done for this program, for this university, they're proud to be Hokies. All right, as soon as we touch down, I bet they'll be at a lacrosse game. I bet you they'll be at a softball game. And not to be seen, but because they really genuinely love being Hokies. And so I want everybody to know that it's more than just basketball with this particular group. And if you're a Hokie, and if you're a fan of Virginia Tech, or you just like watching them, or you just peeking at us, I want you to know that they're phenomenal kids who represent us so well.
We're staying to our left.
Mark Berman, the Roanoke Times. Kenny, after that great third quarter, what do you feel went wrong for you guys offensively and defensively there in the fourth?
They hit a couple shots, gave them a little bit of momentum. I think they had a 3 right off the bat, and then they had a steal for a layup, kind of changed the momentum. They were a little bit more aggressive in the passing lanes, but they were also a little bit more aggressive down low. And you know what? I have the utmost respect for Kim Mulkey and her program and any program that she's a part of. But I do think that there needs to be some changes because our game is a great game and it needs to grow. And to grow, and this is not a knock on the officials. I thought they did a phenomenal job in trying to navigate a game like that. But I think we need to adopt some of the rules that the WNBA have. All right, we're missing out on watching Elizabeth Kitley be able to move in the paint freely. All right, it needs to be a defensive 3-second call. Let her move freely, and how beautiful will the game be? Watch Angel Reese get the ball on the block, and she's got freedom of movement. All right, and that's where the game can be beautiful, and everyone's doing it. The WNBA's gone to it. The NBA has it, and it's freedom of movement. You watch these athletes be athletes instead of having 3 and 4 people around them when they catch the basketball. I don't think Elizabeth Kitley caught the basketball in the last month and a half without 3 people being all around her and attacking the ball. And I say attacking the ball because she has no recourse. She can't chin it anymore because that's an offensive foul. But then somebody can go in and tie her up with 3 and 4 people. We're missing out on an opportunity, in my opinion. And this is for the Rules Committee, and I hope that they listen, hope that they watch. We have a beautiful game with tremendous athletes. Those kids are athletic. They're big. They're strong. They're doing things that no females have done before them. And we got to continue to grow the game, and I think it would be such a beautiful game if they opened it up. And that's to the Rules Committee. That's not to the referees. I thought they did a tremendous job in navigating the whole situation, but we have a beautiful game that needs to grow.
We're staying to our left.
Tyler DeLuca, the next. That 16-0 run into the second going into the third, what do you feel like sparked that, and how did you guys kind of maintain that for such a long period of time?
We got some good looks. We knocked down some threes. We also had some threes during the stretches where we didn't, when they went on runs, that I felt like they were in and out. They were really good looks. And I think Kayla had one that really could have silenced the run that they had. Georgia had one in the second half, just kind of rimmed in and out. She had a couple like that. She came over to me one time and she said, "Bloody heck." And she didn't say heck, but she's right there, and so I think those were some of the things. It's just in a game of this magnitude, when both teams are high level and there's a lot of shot making going on, you got to make some of those shots to be able to survive and continue those runs.
Hey, Coach, this is Okan with Sportgame Media. Between the men and women's, when it comes to March Madness, there have been a lot of firsts, just like your team. how has that created more opportunity for schools that most of us don't know where it exists until we look it up? Especially, I mean, obviously everybody know where VT is, but how does that create more opportunity for teams like yourself and other in the nation?
Well, I think the game is evolving. The evolution, with the transfer portal, NIL obviously is something. But when you give kids an opportunity to move and without repercussions, without sitting out, a lot of kids will go, and the parity is going to continue to grow in our game. It's been like that on the men's side for a little while. I think the women's side is starting to catch up. We're not an overnight wonder. We've been building this thing for a long time, so we're very fortunate to be here. But because of the leadership and the hard work of some young ladies that were particularly sitting by my side, and with the addition of a couple kids who put us over the top. So I don't think it's the last time you're going to see teams that haven't been here before. And I think it's an opportunity because just because of the evolution of the game and where it's gone because of the transfer portal, et cetera.
To our right.
Kenny, Howard Magdal at the next. Georgia talked about the fact that as soon as this ended, she started thinking about ways to get back here. Just two parts to that. One, what have you seen out of her out of the last even half dozen games, which seemed even above the level that she had been playing at throughout the year? And what, if anything, is another level for her to reach for you guys to get back here and maybe win this game next time around?
Oh, there's definitely another level to her. And I promise you, as soon as we get back, when I say it's okay for her, we'll start working out again because she'll probably want to do it as soon as we get back. And there's a lot of things. She's like a piece of putty for me, and I can just mold her into what I want. And the joy for me is that her work ethic, her joy that she gives back to me. It's documented that I do a lot of their individuals, and that's my favorite thing to do. When I got hired, when Whit hired me, I told him I don't really like shaking hands and kissing babies, and I'll do it. But my favorite thing to do is I want to be in the gym. I want to be with them, and she is marvelous at that. And what you can teach her, Liz is the same way. What you can teach her in a day, and then she'll carry it over in that practice, and she'll carry it over into the next game. It's a coach's joy. So there's definitely a next level to her, and there'll be some stuff because she's not going to sneak up on anybody anymore, and they're going to understand who she is and what she can do. And we'll get back at it, and I promise you, she'll be better next year than she was in this run towards the Final Four.
And we're staying to our right, Coach.
Coach Michelle Smith from the next. When you have a chance to step back, what is this run going to do for the trajectory of your program?
It gives us credibility. It puts us up there with a lot of the programs that have been here before. And all of a sudden, we become a cool destination for women's basketball. And our style of play, we've got a beautiful campus. You'll get a wonderful education. We do fun things. We do things first class. And, we respect the game. We respect everything about this process and this opportunity. So when I get back, we're late. We're behind right now in the transfer portal because we've still been playing. But hopefully we'll get create some credibility because we got to this far. But I definitely think that we're going to capitalize on this, and I think you have to because one coach called me. Two coaches told me who had been here before. They say once you get here as a participant in the Final Four, you don't really want to come back to the convention. And nothing against the convention, but that's how special this is, how special the opportunity, how special the whole situation is. It can be addicting. And, fear of failure, we'll get back right at it and start working again because this has been a marvelous experience. The NCAA has been tremendous. Everything that my girls got to experience will be memories for a lifetime. And for me, it was just wonderful sitting back and watching them experience it. And so hopefully we'll continue to work hard to try to get back here. And we understand how hard it is. Not everyone gets to experience this. I know coaches have been in the game for 30 years and they never got this opportunity. So we cherished it, we enjoyed it, but now we really do want to try to put together something that can get back here.
We're going to take another question virtually. Joshua, your line is open and you may speak now.
Joshua Louder Television Network. Coach Brooks, my question for you is how can an aspiring coach of color look at your story and draw inspiration from it?
You can work hard. you can be where your feet are, because I didn't just get here overnight. I've been doing this my whole life. I started coaching when I was 23 years old, 24 years old, and I had to go pick up Lefty's laundry. I had to go pick up his number 7 from Wendy's. I had to drive him to Charlotte, North Carolina. I had to answer his phone calls at 12 o'clock at night to do something, and it's never easy. And for anyone who will ever ask me, and I always tell them, don't try to emulate my path, because my path is my path. Your journey is your journey. You can take bits and pieces, but the best piece of advice I can tell you is be where your feet are. All right, you got to do a phenomenal job everywhere you are so that you can move and you can get an opportunity. You can't just say, well, I've been here 10 years, I should get my opportunity. No. Okay, you got to work. You got to work hard. And if you're somewhere and you're thinking about something else, you're not going to do a good job where you are. And so I hope, and I'll continue to talk, that my experience and what I've done and where we've gotten our program to, I hope it does open many, many doors, because there's a lot of people who look like me who deserve an opportunity, who I think would do a tremendous job. All right, I don't think they were just recruiters. I don't think they were just workout guys. I don't think they were just good assistants. I see a lot of young minds, and a lot of them are assistant coaches who I think that's all they need is an opportunity. And we're not perfect. We're not perfect. Just because I say someone is good, yeah, they got to go prove themselves. They're not going to be a great coach just because they're a coach of color. Everyone has to work and work hard. But I love sharing my experiences, and even though my path is my path, my journey is my journey, maybe people can take bits and pieces of it and try to help their journey.
Coach, we're going to take our last question to your left, please.
Gabe, her hoop stats. Sorry for the loss, Coach.
Thank you.
There's not many teams in the country that talk about trust as much as your team does. You know, we heard it maybe 20 times when the players are talking, and it comes out in those moments where the other team's making a run, and you let the players figure it out. It's worked out a ton for you this season. In those moments, what goes through your head in terms of not only trusting the team to make the right decision, but trusting yourself to make the right decision in terms of calling timeout?
Well, first and foremost, everything, one of my favorite and funniest and grammatically incorrect phrases is everything ain't for everybody. I tell my kids that all the time. And, to play here, and you talk to them and you listen to them talk about trust and the trust that we have, the experiences, it's culture-based. And what we are, we're very close. I spend as much time with Liz or Georgia or KT on how to talk to you guys as I do how to shoot a fadeaway. I talk to them about little things. They come into my office, they sit, and sometimes they'll be in my office, and I have a couch in my office, and they'll sit on the couch, and before I know it, they're asleep, and I just continue to work. But that's how you build trust, and that's how I know what they're thinking. It's kind of like being a parent. When you're a parent to a child, if you sit there and you listen to your kids and you just continue to let them talk, they'll tell you everything. And that's what I do. They come into my office and they sit and they tell me everything. And together that builds the trust. That's how we build our culture. And yeah, they went on the run, and I'm thinking, okay, well, we can do this or we can do that. There's nothing I can tell them during a timeout that they don't already know. Okay? They understand it. They know what we're supposed to be doing. I can call a timeout and look at them and say, well, hey, let's play better defense. They know they need to do that. I can call a timeout and say, hey, take care of the ball. They're going to shoot the gaps. They know they're going to do that. It allows me to keep my timeouts towards the end. But it's trust. It's trust in each other, and that's how we've gotten here because of the culture of our program. And not everybody speaks culture, and I think our culture is tremendous. My opening statement is because of our culture. The opening statement is because of the trust that we have in each other. And I love these kids. I love them. And like I said, though, when I'm not perfect and everything ain't for everybody, but what we have going on together is phenomenal, and I've been very appreciative.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, guys.